Hello YouTube, my name is Nero. Today we have some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, and for this video, I would like to briefly discuss supply drops in Call of Duty World War II, because I feel as though this is a giant point of contention for a lot of people. Looking through the comments of my last video, this is actually what inspired this particular video. I saw a lot of people saying that supply drops have ruined Modern Warfare Remastered, that specifically supply drop weapons have ruined Modern Warfare Remastered, and how supply drops in general are making them less enthused to play the Call of Duty series, because it's fun playing Call of Duty. I think we all agree on that, but it's not fun having content in the game that no matter what you do, you cannot access unless you kind of get lucky, right? And I've seen a lot of people over the years actually pushing back against Activision regarding this particular DLC model, and good on them, honestly. I'm part of them, obviously. Like, I don't buy supply drops here in Modern Warfare Remastered. I haven't purchased them in Infinite Warfare either. It just, I want to be part of the solution. I'm not against people that do buy supply drops, but I feel as though if you are against something, you need to actually be against it, right? You can't speak out a ton against supply drops and stuff like that while also simultaneously purchasing a bunch of them and doing unboxing videos and stuff like that, right? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And one has to wonder, are we actually making a difference? Myself, other YouTubers, live streamers, and stuff like that are boycotting the purchasing of supply drops. Are we actually making a difference? Those of you who are always talking on Reddit or talking in forums or on Twitter or in comment sections, are you guys actually making a difference? Are you getting through to Activision that this is a business model that you are not a big fan of? I personally feel as though we are to an extent. Now, before we go any further, I would like to say that I do personally feel as though Call of Duty World War II is going to have supply drops in their game. It's going to be a thing. Supply drops are going to be part of Call of Duty World War II. It just makes the most sense from Activision's perspective. I mean, look at the past 4 Call of Duty games: Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, and Modern Warfare Remastered. All of them have supply drops, all of them have game-changing content in supply drops, and Activision's making a ton of money as a result. Now, we don't know so much about Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare or even Modern Warfare Remastered, but we do know that with Black Ops 3, they sold so many supply drops that the money they made from that alone ended up earning Activision more money than the Season Pass or any of the map packs combined. It's a pretty big market, it really is. But if there's one thing I've noticed over the years, is that it's progressively gotten better. You have Advanced Warfare, which I guess maybe not for Black Ops 3. Advanced Warfare's system, you would get supply drops a ton, and in those supply drops, you of course would get variants, and just by playing the game or even buying them, you would eventually get a lot of these variants. Black Ops 3, I feel as though, was the low point in the series in terms of supply drop content, because it was just a literal slot machine, and there were not a ton of supply drop weapons. They kept adding more and more junk and more filler to the supply drop loophole, making it harder and harder for you to actually get stuff, which is frustrating, because Black Ops 3, I mean, they're still adding supply drop weapons to that game to this day. I think the 74U and the 1911 were just added recently, which makes no sense. Like, I get that a lot of people still play Black Ops 3, but the overall number of people that are actually going to be able to have access to that weapon is ridiculously low. It is ludicrously low. I feel as though they need to just make it so we can buy the gun, right? $2, $3, something like that. Like, that way people can actually play with it, because I guarantee you less than 1% of the player base is ever going to be able to unlock either of those weapons, yet they continue to add them to supply drops regardless. It makes no sense in my opinion. But if you look at Infinite Warfare, right, what they're doing with DLC weapons, they're actually giving them out to Season Pass holders. Modern Warfare Remastered's supply drop system is not perfect, but it's more fair than what we've seen in Black Ops 3. It's roughly as similar to what we've seen in Infinite Warfare, but it's definitely better than what we saw in Black Ops 3 or Advanced Warfare. It's getting better over time, and I think that's actually a pretty cool thing. And then, of course, they're doing that promotional event with Advanced Warfare, where they're basically giving out World War II themed DLC weapons. That's kind of a cool thing as well. They're progressively getting better, but it's not quite where we want it to be. But I would say that we are actually we're making a dent, I suppose. The pushback that we're actually giving Activision is actually helping, because I feel as though if everyone just kind of like, you know, sat back and took it, and they're like, all right, whatever, supply drop weapons are in this game, we get it, then I feel as though the system may potentially get worse and worse rather than actually just being better. Now, one of the things they could actually do to make Call of Duty World War II a fantastic game, and hear me out on this, I would be perfectly fine with them having supply drop weapons in the game if we were able to earn them by playing. Right, there are so many people out there that play Call of Duty and play it a ton. I feel as though, like, especially here in Modern Warfare Remastered, you have a bunch of people that are Prestige Master, even more people that are 10th Prestige. I feel as though, especially because 10th Prestige was like the big thing back in Call of Duty 4, I feel as though if you hit 10th Prestige in this game, you should just get the DLC weapons, right? That's something you should get. They should reward you for playing the game. Because right now, the current Prestige system, this is something that I could make an entire different video on this. I may in the future, I'm just not sure exactly how to format it. But I wanted to make a video called How Fans Would Improve Call of Duty. And one of these suggestions I saw was to make Prestige mode worth it. Make Prestiging in Call of Duty a system that is actually worth you doing it, rather than just like resetting your levels. Because if you think about it, that's what it really is. The only real advantage to prestiging is to, one, entertain yourself because you have to re-unlock things, and for some people that's fun. And another one would be unlocking different custom class slots. Like, that's pretty much all you get for prestiging, that and a new icon, of course. I think it would be awesome that if they do have supply drop weapons in their game, why not make it so we can earn different ones by simply leveling up in the game? That would be really cool. I think it'd be a really good middle ground, because as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, I mean, especially because a lot of people that play Modern Warfare Remastered are typically older Call of Duty fans that played COD 4 back in the day. As you get older, you end up having more money than you do time. Whereas when you're younger, you have more time than you actually have money, right? So for the people that have more time than money, they should be rewarded for being a big fan of the series and playing the game a ton. Those people are your bread and butter. Those people are your super fans. Those are people that put in 5 days, 10 days, 15 days of playtime into every single Call of Duty game, and they should be rewarded as such. I hate to see people out there who have put a ton of time into Modern Warfare Remastered or Infinite Warfare and still don't have access to some of the DLC weapons. It's just, that's a bad system, right? And for the other people that like to play your game and also want access to these weapons, but don't have time to invest, 5, 10, 15 days of playtime and get to 10th Prestige or Prestige Master or whatever, make it so they can potentially get them via supply drops, right? It's a good system in general. I don't know quite why this hasn't been actually implemented. We, of course, did see a system like this sort of in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, whereas once you got to the high prestiges, you would start earning different weapon variants, which was a pretty good thing. Some of them were the actual good variants. So I would like to see a return to form of that system in some respect. I feel as though that would be the best system for everybody involved in Call of Duty World War II. But of course, that is just my suggestion. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about that down there in the comment section below. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on Call of Duty World War II and supply drops down there in the comments, because I feel as though, again, it's a big point of contention, but we have to kind of look at it from all perspectives and see what would be best for everybody involved. I think a lot of people are so eager to say, just remove supply drops entirely, make it so DLC guns aren't a thing. And while that's certainly a valid criticism, I feel as though having new guns coming to the game, at least periodically, is actually good for the game. It actually makes it a bit more interesting. It's actually really fun if you can unlock them. I can personally attest to this with Modern Warfare Remastered after unlocking the BOS-14 and the Fang 45. Like, it just breathed new life into Modern Warfare Remastered for me, having these new weapons to play with. So it's actually a pretty good thing. It's just a matter of whether or not we can actually get these weapons in a fair manner for everybody involved, rather than just like leaving it up to a slot machine. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below. I apologize for these somewhat sporadic videos over the past couple of days. If you guys don't know or don't follow me on Twitter, I've been dealing with the flu, the worst kind of flu, and it's been pretty freaking rough the past couple of days. But I wanted to make this video, and hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. Happy Memorial Day weekend to all of you. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.